Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Borino Live. It's Tuesday noon, which is our usual time to get together, grab a cup of coffee. Where's my coffee? Oops, that's all right. Anyway, we'll get together for about an hour. We chat, we talk about success, we talk about real estate, we talk about money, we talk about problems, issues, successes, victories and defeats. I answer your questions and we'll spend about 60 minutes or so hanging out here. It's coming to you live, broadcasting through YouTube, posting in Facebook. So if you're watching this on replay, you have questions, join us for next Tuesday. You can post questions. I will check the comments as we broadcast live. If you're watching this on Rockstars, all you got to do is post your question below in the comments. And we'll see if I can tackle it. We'll see if I can give you some wisdom and some help to turn 2017 into an amazing year. Anyway, my name is Borino. Good to have you. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I always enjoy doing these live. We will even experiment next time. I was thinking about hooking up our phone system so we can actually talk. If you want to do some role plays or ask questions, you want to chat, we can do that. Anyway, we're trying this new desk. How do you like it? What do you guys think? Is it cool? Are you into it? All right. Let me see what the troops are saying on Rockstars. Yes. All right. Very good. Jackie, welcome. First one who liked the video. Awesome. We switched it. You know, normally I broadcast live to Facebook and then we post a recording to YouTube. And I figured might as well try something different. Switch it around. I mean, you can still watch it. You're watching it live. And we can still chat. You can post questions. I'll be monitoring it, of course. I'll be checking what's going on. What do you want to know? How I can help you. How I can make 2017 an amazing year. That's really my goal. All right, with that, let's start with my first question. First order of business. That seems to be like an ongoing theme lately. It seems like quite a few of you are running into this problem. So check out what Kristen posted on the Rockstars. She says, I cannot get one person to pick up a call. I make a concerted effort every AM to use my espresso agent daily, and it's been well over a month, and I maybe had 2 people answer. No calls back. Nothing. Help. I already hate cold calling, so this may not last long for me, says Kristen from Harrison, Michigan. Interesting place to be. I can relate to that. When I first started my career as a real estate agent, you know, my training was I got my license, walk into the office, shake hand of the broker, and he sets me down and he says, okay, this is your desk, this is your phone, good luck. Can you relate? Was your training about the same? There's a reason for that. There's a reason why real estate brokers are so hesitant. Now, of course, there are exceptions. But in general, there is a reason why this industry has such a horrible reputation because of the horrible training. Getting your real estate license in most states, in the United States and Canada, is about as hard as getting your driver's license. True or false? It's easy. It's not that hard. I, schmuck from Czechoslovakia, passed the first time. First time I took the test, I passed. It was easy. Yes, I studied. Yes, it took me like 4 weeks to get ready and prep, but I went through the questions, I passed. It was easy. It is easy to become a real estate agent. It is hard to become a successful, competent, profitable, well-off agent. That part is hard. Most never do. What are the statistics? 80% fail, right? So the brokers, company owners, from a business perspective already know that most likely only 1 out of 2 things will happen. Statistically, this has been going on for the last, God knows, 50 years or so. Either you will fail, which statistically is likely, unless you're a rock star, unless you're my student, different crowd, different breed. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, that's just how it is. Or you will succeed and go somewhere else. Just look around. Look around your office. Look around the industry as a general. People move and change and switch all the time. There is zero loyalty. We shop for commissions. We shop for better deals. We shop for lead generation services handed to us. We look for all kinds of advantages, and we move like that. So now knowing that, if the broker knows, either you're going to stay for a while, make a little bit of money, hopefully he or she will recover the cost, and then you go somewhere else, or you're going to fail. So from a business perspective, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to invest a lot of time, effort, and money into a lot of these new agents. That's why the training is so poor. That's why the industry is riddled with so much incompetence. But it's also good news. Good news for you guys who are willing to spend the lunch with me, and I welcome you. Oh, a whole bunch of you. Welcome. Jackie says good morning. Pat, nice to have you, Pat. Welcome. Mr. Hans Morales, good to always have you. And rock stars like you, Hans is doing really well. And if he's willing to spend the lunch with me, that means I got something to share. I like this table because I can make little sound effects. So good to have you, Hans. So going back to the discussion, they will not invest a whole lot of time. There's a lot of incompetence. I mean, if you do expireds, if you do FISBOs, just get the feedback from the sellers. It's crazy the stories they will tell you, how the agents don't do their job, don't do this, don't do that. That will help you stand out. So that's really good news. And I know it's kind of a long loop to answering Kristen's question about the calls. But we'll get to it in just a second. I have actually some stuff that I want to show you how to get there. But you need to understand why you cannot depend on the industry, on your company, on anybody else but you. When it comes to getting leads, when it comes to bettering yourself, and you must. Because just like there is that herd, there is that 80% of the people who will do very little. I mean, most real estate agents in the United States make less than $50,000. How in the world can you live on that? I don't understand. And that's per year, not per month. I have rock stars who do that per month, but it's different. So the herd mentality, you will stand out completely. And you don't need to be extremely better, just better. Better in the way you communicate, better at the way you know the market, better the way you communicate and present. You know the pricing. Not a huge difference. Why? Because just as there is that 80-85% group, there's also that small group of go-getters, the grinders, the rock stars, the heavy hitters, the ambitious, hungry crowd who says, fuck it, I'm going to make it. I am willing to do whatever it takes. I am willing to put in the work, the time, the effort. I'm willing to invest the money in training. I'm willing to invest money in marketing. I'm willing to spend the time like you guys right now learning because I want to be in that small group. So you don't want to be stuck in between. That's the worst place to be. That's the Toyota Camry. Where you're not with the rock stars, you're not earning the income and have the status and the success you want, but you're not miserable enough to leave and do something else. So my goal is to inspire and help you to get you to that small group. And one of the things we're going to talk about is Kristen's problem and many of you who struggle with being fluent on the phone, being successful on the phone, being good in general communicating with strangers. Very important skill. Yes, we all have tools and smartphones and we all run all kinds of campaigns and we have in-house sales agents. We have all these support systems. But you still need to master the ability to communicate with a stranger, to make them feel comfortable, to make them trust you. Because at the end, they have to like you, trust you, and respect you to do business with you. And you're here to learn how to do some of that. So I'm going to give you some points that will help you with the problem that Kristen is facing. Hey, Mr. Ken. Good to have you, my brother. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Picture good, sound good, everybody's good. We're trying a new way of broadcasting to you from Facebook. So, going back to Kristen's question. I'm showing you the comment again because I wanted to show you the last paragraph. Look at that. I already hate cold calling. So this may not last long for me. Now what Kristen is doing there is really setting herself up to fail. And we all do that. Subconsciously very often. But we do that because if something is uncomfortable, and this has to do with our neurobiology, little important tidbit of information that will help you. Our brain, and you may already know this, is wired to avoid pain and to gain pleasure. Those are the two main objectives that are hardwired in our crocodile brain, is to protect us from harm, death, and pain, and to deliver pleasure. Those are the two main drives. Everything we do, everything we achieve in life, everything our clients do is driven by these two forces. You combine those, you justify it by logic, you get motivation. The drive to avoid pain will override the drive for pleasure. And that's really important to know. Here is why. You have a big goal. You have a big desire. You want to do well. You want to have a Ferrari. You want to have a mansion with a pool. You want to travel to Bahamas. You want to buy income properties. All pleasure, lots of pleasure. You want to have kids in good school. You want to have harmony finally at home where your spouse stops nagging and bitching that you're not making enough money, you should get a real job. I know from experience, I've been there. Not now, but in real estate. So you want all those things. That's a big pleasurable drive. But on the other hand, making calls is uncomfortable. Rejection is uncomfortable, especially rejection, because even after 200 million years of evolution, one of the biggest pain we can experience is social rejection. It's exclusion from a group. Hugely painful and hugely uncomfortable, where we assign a lot of subconscious fears and avoidance behavior. So what does that have to do with your calls? Simple. If you link enough pain to prospecting, to door knocking, to cold calling, to communicating in any level with FISBOs, with whoever, where there has been rejection, there has been pain, you start linking this pain to those experiences. And then little by little, you will figure out a way to get out of it. It's just our neurobiology. It's not your fault. It's not that you're not motivated. You're plenty motivated. The fact that you're here with me today shows me that you're motivated, right? The fact that you may have my systems, the fact that you are willing to put in the work, like Kristen is genuinely trying. But it's our neurobiology, first and foremost, that will get you out of that. That long term will simply not work, because discipline will burn so much energy and so much mind cycles, mental capacity, that after a while, you know what happens. You're going to start chasing some new shiny silver and you're going to say, well, that shit doesn't work. Or you're going to get out altogether. Those are the only two things that possibly can happen, true or false. Can you relate to that? Yeah? Yeah. Checking your comments while we do this. So understand that it is first and foremost your neurobiology that will lead you astray. So that's the bad news. So now, how do we, let me just set up this screen. How do we help? How do Kristen and everybody else to help you? Let me show you some things. You might want to write these down. They're simple, but they will help you. First and foremost, mindset. You got to change your mindset. If you're going in saying, I don't know how much longer I can last doing this, I hate it in the first place, it ain't going to happen. And it's not going to work. Not long term. So the idea is you must go in with a mindset. This whole business, this whole real estate success is first and foremost a mind game. It's a mind game first and foremost. More than your skill, more than your ability, more than your age, education, race, size, this way and that way, whatever. It is your mind, the mindset that you have in your head, that will determine the amount of money you're going to make, the level of success you're going to reach, how long are you going to last, how much obstacles you're going to overcome until you reach the goal or give up. That's the reality of it. And we've talked about mindset before. I've given you plenty of tools, but I will summarize. I'll give you some quick tips, because start there. If you're going in hating it, if you're going in with resistance, if you're going in thinking this is going to hurt, this is going to be unpleasant, you're already programming for failure. And we do that naturally, remember, the neurobiology. So what do? First, set up for success. Set your expectations up, because it's your focus, your beliefs, and your expectations that will, to a great degree, determine the outcome. And not just the calls. The prospecting, the follow-up, the presentations, the listing appointments, the buyer appointments, the business in general. What do you expect? Evaluate and reset your expectations. 2, spend few minutes, and this is what I did. I would sit down because I realized in my head I'm already playing certain movies. I'm already having certain thoughts. And just like Kristen and many of you, those thoughts were not pleasant. I was bracing myself because people would be rude. I was expecting people not to answer. Like in her case, I would expect people. I was actually relieved when people didn't pick up the phone. Oh, cool, at least nobody yelled at me. You know what I mean? You've done that. Say yes, I know you have. We all have. It's, again, neurobiology protecting us from pain. So reset all that. Set up a mind movie where the conversations are pleasant. Expect people to be friendly. Expect people to be kind. Visualize how you want the connections to go. I would literally close my eyes, I would sit down for a few minutes, play some nice music, and I would picture how I'm establishing this physical connection, like this energy. And I know this sounds kind of California, New Age bullshit, Bear with me. This is what I did. This is what worked for me. I would picture how I connect with those people. How they pick up the phone and they smile and we have a good conversation. I would visualize how I would connect with them, how we would shake hands and smile when we meet in person, how they were glad they had a chance to meet with me. And things changed. Do the same. Do the same. Set up the mindset first. And then focus on your goals. What is the big picture? Because this is not about making calls, it is not about appointments, it is not about listings, and it is not even about money. It is about the lifestyle you want, the status you want to establish, the freedom you want to have that the money will provide. That's why you're making those calls. Put it in perspective, bigger picture. That's why I like the big picture metaphor of having a nice vision board. And some of you guys have done some great vision boards. Post them on Rockstars. Post them. I'd love to see them. Okay? So mindset first and foremost. Do that. Second thing I'm going to give you is role play. Practice. Get in a habit of practicing. Get a partner and practice. Everybody does it. The rock stars do it, not just in real estate. Musicians, athletes, presenters, top salespeople, CEOs before they go in front of the crowd do an annual presentation. Steve Jobs. Pull up if you can. I'm a huge fan of Steve Jobs. My tribute to him is the black shirt. Partially why I wear it. I'll answer, by the way, some of you were wondering why I always wear a black shirt in my videos most of the time. So I'll tell you. Watch Steve Jobs do his keynote presentation. Like we are celebrating 10 years of iPhone. I'm a huge Apple fan, as you know. I'm an Apple boy. So pull up some of his old presentations on YouTube when he presents a new product. And watch how poised he is, how funny he is, how very brilliantly presented, how brilliantly he presents the information. Check it out. Pull it up on YouTube. Really worth, not now, when we finish. Okay? So watch that. Now, what you may not know, it seems very natural, like Steve was a natural presenter. Far from it. Steve was very meticulous about rehearsing. He would go over the presentation over and over and over, every little detail. Stand here, light here, this here, the product, I will hold it like that. No, let's try it like that. Everything was prepared. He would practice religiously. Now, what was Steve doing? Presenting so that we buy his shit. Now, I have about 7 Macs, 4 iPads, 3 iPhones. He's doing a pretty good job. He's still on Forbes' top richest people list. Last time I checked, it was like number 17 or something like that. Worth a lot of money. So if that guy with that kind of money got there by practicing, now of course he had other qualities as well. But it's a huge chunk of it. You must do the same. Practice. Get in the habit of practicing daily for 20, 30 minutes. My thing was 30 minutes a day. Cup of coffee with my buddy Tony and boom, we would just practice. Next thing I'm going to give you is your physiology. Change your posture. Change your posture. While you're prospecting, following up, any type of a communication you do, pay attention to your body. I'm trying this new thing. We got this new desk here. And I got to tell you, I'm not really sure if I really dig it. Because I'm so used to standing up and talking to you and gesturing and doing all that. We did it mainly because I got more gear now, more shit here. I'm running the whole show now myself, which is what I like. I'm a control freak. But I miss that ability to walk around to pace. You got to stand up. You got to get your energy going. You got to use your body to change your psychology. How you move, how you gesture. Put a headset on and boom, burn through those calls. Use a better posture. Because what do we normally do when something unpleasant, when we need to make a phone call? You sit down, you slump over. Breathing is shallow. You're looking down. You're just looking at the computer. Shit, I hope this thing is over soon, right? So you got to change that. Stand up. Move. Breathe. Do all that stuff. Cool? Next one. Call early. If you can't get hold of people in a certain time, switch the times. You got to experiment. In my area, it was different than it will be in your area. That has to do with socioeconomic groups. That has to do with time of the year. There are a lot of factors that can influence it. So find the time that works. I know some of you rock stars figured out that calling late works better. So then call late. Find the time. Keep track. Okay, the next few days I'm going to try 8 a.m. or I'm going to try 6 p.m. and see what works. Next, text them. If the phone doesn't work, text them. Send them a little text. Why not? I'm going to show you an example of a text. And this is courtesy of a cool rock star, Raketa Ellaby Douglas. She is with One Vision Realty. She posted this. I really like it. Very simple. Keep the text simple. But you will get a pretty good response from these. Hello, John. It's Raketa. When is a good time to talk about 123 Main Street? Do you still want to sell? Brilliant. Simple. Raketa, thank you so much for posting this. I really dig this. Cool little text. So write this down. I'm going to keep it on the screen for a little while. Okay? Simple text. No big deal. And see what kind of response you're going to get. Danielle says, that's a great comment. My man Borino delivering the message, you kick my ass to make me better. I appreciate you, brother. Well, thanks. Thanks for that. Appreciate that, Danielle. By the way, guys, if you're watching this on Facebook and you have questions, just post them below the video, right below the video. I'm checking the comments as we speak, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. So that's a text. Text them. Don't replace the text with a phone call. Still call. Just use it. Because the next thing I'm going to give you is use other channels. Call is just one of the channels. Depending on where you are and depending on who you're prospecting, the phone may or may not work as the best tool, but it is important. It is not essential. You can still list expired or FISBOs or any other group using other channels, like texting. So make the call just part of it. Don't make the whole thing about calling, and then when the calling doesn't work, you go, well, fuck, this doesn't work. I give up. Okay? So as a matter of fact, let me do this. Let me walk you through how the whole process works. So you have a high probability leads. That's what HPL stands for. High probability lead. Yeah, Pat likes the text. It's great, right? Yeah, Raketa, thank you so much for sharing. That's really good. Pat likes it. Good. So you have a high probability leads. This can be new expired, canceled listing, all expired. This could be a for sale by owner, any type of high probability lead that you're working. So what do? Step one, you make a contact. You reach out. You make the first active effort. This is active marketing and active prospecting. So that means you're going to call them, see if they relisted. If they haven't, game on. You're going to email them if you can, especially with espresso and some other services. You can get their email. Shoot them a quick email. You mail them, especially if you cannot stop by, and you text them. Now, I would first stop by before I start mailing, because visiting them will not only eliminate your competition, but gives you a great chance to chat with the owner, have a little conversation with them, start establishing rapport with them, start establishing connection with them. Very, very effective. And most agents will not do it. They're either lazy, they're scared, they don't want to do it, they're for whatever reason. So go visit them if you can. Make the call part of it. Don't make the whole thing about just one. Don't make the mail just one system. All of that, as many as possible. The more channels of communication you open, the better. Include social media. Look them up on Facebook. Look them up on LinkedIn. All of these work really well. So that's step one. After that, you go to step two. That's the visit. If at all possible, go visit them. Have a little chat, few minutes chat. You're going to drop off the expired package. You're going to ask them a few questions, preview the house, see how motivated they are, how realistic they are, and one of three things will happen. You will either drop them, not a huge group, but some you'll say, not motivated, don't want to deal with these people. Some you will put on a follow-up. They may say, well, you know what, we have some repairs we want to do, and my wife is going for surgery, whatever, why don't we get together a month from now? Excellent, you put them on follow-up. Or if you don't get hold of them, you put them on follow-up. You mail them periodically, you call them back once in a while, you text them once in a while, you keep in touch. And that's the shortest way to getting the listings. That is the whole process. Don't overthink it, don't overcomplicate it. It is not that complicated. Yeah? So that's how you do it. Those are the tips that will help you. Making the call, see if you can reach them, opening other channels, text them real quick, go visit them, grab the expired package, should be super simple. The trifold brochure, cover letter, market snapshot, some samples of your marketing materials, a couple of postcards, nothing fancy. Knock on the door, have a 10-minute conversation, ask them a few basic questions. Now, this has to be a conversation, not an interrogation. All right? This has to be a human conversation, one-on-one. And then ask their permission to see the property, take some notes, maybe take a couple of pictures, set up the appointment. Occasionally, you may list it right on the spot. Happened to me once in a while. Or you just set up a listing appointment, say, let's meet in my office tomorrow. Let's talk for about half an hour, see what we can do. No pressure. Or you agree to put them on follow-up. Follow-up is often not necessarily a result of motivation as it is a result of lack of trust, where you need to develop more trust, more connection with them until they're ready. Especially when they got burned with a bad agent in the past, it may take a little while, and that's okay. Just put them on a follow-up, use like Lion Desk, sequence, boom. You mail them something once in a while, market update, a postcard, thank you card, phone call once in a while, text once in a while, update them, new listing, new sale in the area, keep in touch. Because the repetition is what develops familiarity. It's not the pieces themselves. They're important, but not essential. Not as important as the frequency and the fact that they keep seeing your name. That's what's going to get you the listings. Yeah? Now, if you want to master all this, come do the bootcamp. Last one we did, 3,423 new leads generated during the 7 weeks and 69 listings. Now, that numbers, of course, will change now because we are about a month after the bootcamp. But it was pretty productive. You guys kicked butt. You did well. So go to goborino.com. You can't buy it. All that's going to happen is you're going to register, pay a little deposit so that you show up for the phone call. You and I will get on the phone for about 10, 15 minutes, and I'll tell you about the bootcamp. I'll ask you some questions. You ask me questions. And then we'll decide whether it's for you and you're a good match for the group. Because I only take a small group of agents because I work very closely with you building your lead generation systems, your follow-up system, and your listing presentation system. So check it out. We still have very few spots left, and we're starting on February 1st, which is Wednesday. All right. Good stuff so far, you guys. Are you enjoying it? This is broadcast to Facebook. If you're not a member, join us. We got a pretty cool group. You see the URL right here. Rock stars. If you are rock stars, good to have you guys. Let me check out some questions. Let's see if we got anything. What do you guys want to know? Oh, Hans has a really good question. He would like to know when is the video marketing course available. It's going to be called Video Express Plus. We were actually working on it this morning, Hans. We are about, I would say, 2/3 done. About 27 little videos. There will be little parts of the chapters are already done. We're working on it. I work on it as quickly as possible. I know you guys want it, but I also have this standard where I will not release it until it's done, until I believe it's the best, most complete system out there to help you create real estate videos. All kinds of videos. Personal videos, presentation videos, tips, all that stuff. You will get about 100 ideas what to shoot. There are 7 script templates that we included, tons of examples, and me, of course, coaching you how to get comfortable on camera, how to be more confident, how to speak to the camera, how to edit, how you can do the whole thing, most of it on iPhone or on smartphone. So it'll be for both Android and iPhones as well. So we're working on it. I don't really have a final date when I want to release it because I really want to make sure it's complete. It has everything you need to become a video real estate rock star. Cool? But it is in production. I'm being very focused working on it. And other than the little break over Christmas when we went away for 2 weeks, I pretty much work on it full time. All day, every day. So it's coming. It is coming. All right. Let's see. Deborah has a question. I just started calling expired last week, and I've had 1 appointment and I'm not sure if I got the listing. I have 2 more appointments this week. My problem is I don't know what to say when I call and I say I would like to come and take a look at your house. Else what do I do? Bring them as far as the literature. Do you ask for another appointment? I'm confused. Good question, Deborah. Really good question. And I will take it piece by piece. First of all, good on you starting calling. That's the hardest part. That's where people procrastinate the most. It never fails. They get my Expired Plus. And part of what I give you is an expired package. You get the template, you get the brochure, the whole thing. Not that hard to put together. Probably, if you really fuck around, it's going to take you a weekend. A month later, I get an email. I'm almost done with my package. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, people? You're missing opportunity. And it's not that they want a perfect package. It's an avoidance behavior. The same thing we talked about earlier. Your brain is figuring out ways to avoid pain, which we link colon expired pain to. It's not really pain. It's just our mind creates this construct. And it feels real. It sounds logical. We buy into it. We justify it. So you, Deborah, calling, kudos. Well done. Well done. It's going to get better. It's going to get easier. It will never be easy. It will never be easy. This is not an easy business. That's why you make $5,000, $8,000, $15,000 a transaction. Because it's not easy. Because most people can't do it. Because most people don't know how to do it. So you are an elite group. When I tell you, you, my rock stars, are elite, are special, I mean it. Honestly, sincerely. So now, I've had one appointment and I'm not sure if I got the listing. Let me address that, Deborah. At the end of each listing presentation, you get the listing. Getting a listing, getting the contract signed either physically or electronically, moving forward, taking the next step is a natural, logical ending to a good presentation. That's the reality. Getting a listing at the end is a result of a good presentation. If you didn't get a listing, something got screwed up. You messed up somewhere. Now, being a newer agent, I forgive you. It's fine. Get the presentation plus, by the way. That will make things a lot easier if you don't have it. But here's what it means. You have a motivated seller. You have a good agent. They have a reasonable expectations. They have a destination and an objective that they want to accomplish. Usually it's a problem that you're going to solve. You put those together, you got a listing. It's really that simple. So to say they need to decide and they're going to interview more agents, something got screwed up. You ran into trouble somewhere. You always end the listing presentation with getting the contract signed, no exception. So why don't you? Only two reasons. You're talking to the wrong people. Now when I say wrong people, I don't mean wrong. I don't mean bad. I mean people who either are not ready or not motivated, not realistic. They don't have enough pain and pleasure drive to move. You need to know that before you go in. That's why the pre-qualification process is so important. Asking the right questions, qualifying them, where you get clarity, but here's the most important part. They get clear what they want to do. What the hell are they trying to do in the first place? And can that be done? So they need to be as clear as you what's going to happen, when, and why. Pre-qualify. That's number one. What if they are motivated? What if they do pass the qualification test and you still don't get the listing at the end? You screwed up somewhere. And where you usually screw up is with trust. They don't trust that you are the right choice, that you are their best choice. For whatever reason. They may perceive you as low status, they may perceive you as incompetent, they may perceive you as not trustworthy. Now, you may not be any of those things. You may be the coolest, most competent, most experienced rock star. But if they perceive you as such, you're never going to get the listing. So it has to do with perception, because from the sales perspective, perception is reality. So that's the bad news. Now the good news is you can fix all that. Learning a good presentation is just another skill. It's just another skill. You follow a certain sequence. You pre-sell yourself right up front. High status established way before you even sit down with the seller. Part of it is your pre-listing package. Part of it is your pre-qualification, how you communicate with the seller, how you position yourself. As a needy, low-status agent, desperate for a listing, or a high-status advisor. All that plays a huge role. And if you do it right, and if you deliver a good presentation in your office, important, at the end, you get a good listing. I mean, think about it. If you are the right choice for them, and if they want to sell, why would they say no? It doesn't make sense. So it's either you or them. And if through the pre-qualification you establish it's not them, then it's you. So you got to fix that. And you set those expectations right up front. I would sit down with the seller, says, I'm glad I found a few minutes to sit down and chat with you. He's looking forward to our meeting. We're going to have about 20, 25 minutes together. I will also answer all your questions. I want to make sure that you're comfortable. And at the end, we're going to decide. Maybe we decide to work together, maybe not. That's it. But I pre-framed that at the end, we both, high status, going to make a decision. That's never up to just the seller. Sure, they have a freedom to walk away and they have a freedom to say, go fuck off, I don't want to do business with you. I respect that. Just like I have the freedom to say, you know what, based on what you told me, thank you so much, I don't think I can help you, good luck. And I walk away. Abundance mentality, high status, confidence. Okay, so that's that part. Now, Deborah, 2 more appointments this week. You're crushing it, you're doing well. Love it. Love it. Keep doing it, that's awesome. My problem is I don't know what to say when I call and I say, I would like to come and take a look at the house, and what do I bring them as far as literature? I will help you with that as well. That's an easy one. Just follow the script. When you call them, you introduce yourself. Hey, I'm probably not the first one calling about your house. You can look up the whole script. I have the whole phone call on YouTube. But it's really simple. I'm just going to stop by, drop off some info, shake your hand. No pressure. I'm not there to list the property. I'm just going to say hi. That's it. The simpler you can keep it, the more effective it is. The easier, the shorter the conversation, the better it works. You're going to grab a little package, get the Expired Plus package, put it together, super simple. You're going to visit 2 or 3 a day, you're going to crush it. And then you just, when you meet with them, you ask them questions. Where did you guys want to go? What do you think went wrong about the property? Nice home, how come it didn't sell? What's the main reason you want to move? What draws you to Florida? If the qualified buyer walks in tomorrow, would you still like to go? What concerns you the most? What worries you? How are you going to pick your next agent? I mean, there's a whole bunch of questions. But you pick the ones that you feel are the most appropriate for the discussion, for the conversation you have. Because it's not about presenting and it's not about shenanigans. It is about 2 human beings having a conversation, where one has a problem, the other one may have a solution. If they have a problem and it fits, you have a solution. Get that? Make sense, Deborah? All right. Mr. Brian English, my good man, thank you for the nice comments. All right, so that's what will help you. It will take some practice. It will take some trial and error. It will take some confidence, which will come from just doing it a lot. So if some work out, awesome. Some don't work out, so be it. That's just the nature of it. You will never get them all. Don't even try. Just keep going. You're doing fine. You're doing well. Just keep going, meeting these people, talking to these people, interacting with them. Even if they say no, put them on a follow-up. Give them a little time to think it over, to cool off from the initial emotional reaction to the property didn't sell, the dreams blew up, the disappointment, the aggravation, the resentment, and the frustration they may have with their old agent or with the real estate industry as general. Because now we're the bad guy since things don't work out or didn't work out. So give them a little time. Call them back. Don't give up so easily. Okay? And then mail them something once in a while. If you did talk to them, mail them a nice thank you card, handwritten, works fantastic. Very powerful direct mail piece. Speaking of mail piece, just wanted to show you this. This is from one of my favorite clients. They actually won an award from me, Elias and Alejandra. They won the Agent of the Year, and I got this lovely card from them. Look at that, lovely Christmas card. It says, Dear Borino, Hannah, Roseanne, wishing you all and yours a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Best wishes, Elias and Alejandra, handwritten. Now the reason I also wanted to show you, here you go. Thanks for this, you guys. Appreciate it very much. But I wanted to show you this, how powerful it is if you handwrite a little note. So that should definitely be part of your follow-up and part of your marketing. Do it. Thanks you guys for this. This is lovely. All right, so Deborah, did I answer your question? Was that helpful? Good. Thank you, Borino. I will get the expired package. That was my first interview and I was so nervous. Of course you're going to be nervous. That's normal. How you feel is normal. Don't worry about it. Just do the best you can what you got. If nervous is what you got, then that's what you got. Don't let the emotions stop you. Remember what I always tell you guys. Remember this. Do not let your emotions control your income. Write this down. This is one of my favorite Borino quotes. I made it up. It's awesome. Do not let your emotions control your income. If you're nervous, you're going to do it in spite of that you're nervous. If you hate cold calling, you're going to do it in spite of how you feel about it. How you feel does not determine whether you're going to do it or not. After we finish, I'm going to go and work out. I have a little home gym set up now. I have a private trainer. She kicks my ass. I have to get shit done. Do you think I look forward to it? No, I'd rather work on the video course for you, but that's what's got to be done. That's what's going to be done. So don't let the emotions get in the way. Change your emotions if you can, but you're going to be nervous. That's normal. Talking to strangers is normal. Remember, since you were a kid, you were told stranger danger. It's the programming we have. So Deborah, don't worry about it. Just keep going. It's going to get easier. The emotions will subside. You'll probably never love it. I never did. But it'll be easier. It'll be like no big deal. It'll be like the exercise now. I just get through it. I put blast of music on, bang my eardrums, and I'm done in an hour. It feels good when you're done with it. And then the results will follow. They have to. If you stay with it, you're going to get better. Your approach will get better, and somehow the circumstances get better as well. Okay? So stay with it, Deborah. Good job. Miss Gail, always nice to have you. Hello, Borino. Glad I found you today. Always good stuff. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for kind words from rock stars like you. Gail is on track. I'm going to make this public if you don't mind. She's going on track to do 200 deals this year. That's her goal. Now, that's a rock star. I love that. I love the ambition. A big part of what she does is personal stuff like this. She's really good at it. If you're a member of the Listing University, look up the training we did. Gail was kind enough to share about 90 minutes of her time, and she just opened up her system where she showed us exactly what she does. Became Agent of the Year last year, did 55, 54 transactions, I think, something like that, 53, 54. On track to do 200 this year. Check it out. Learn from the good ones. Awesome. Mr. Gerard, Borino had another idea. If the seller does not answer, it's not home when we door knock, but after doing some quick research, when we know where they work, would you send the package to their place of work? I would not. You can experiment with it, but I wouldn't. I would just get them to their house. Either drop it off, leave it by the back door, mail it to them. I would call them at work. That's a different thing. And that's a great idea, Jerry. I would call them. I would look them up on LinkedIn, because very often the phone numbers on LinkedIn are their work numbers. So look them up on LinkedIn if you can, make a connection if you can, and see if you can reach them at work. And I would say, hey, Jack, I know you're at work. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I saw the property didn't sell. Would you still like to sell? If the price worked, if the buyer walks in, they fall in love, and they give you a decent price for it, would you consider it? When would be a good time for us to talk? Short and simple. Okay? But a good idea. All right, Arun has a question. When is the best time to walk a neighborhood before an open house? The day before, the same day, a few hours beforehand, or does it matter? Arun, that's a really good question. It doesn't matter a whole lot. I used to start marketing my open house around Monday. I would start inviting neighbors Monday, maybe Tuesday, for a weekend open house. That would lead up to it. So I would go and spend maybe an hour or two, pass some flyers, talk to some neighbors, starting Monday. I would say it's going to be this weekend. You're going to see a bunch of my signs. With a name like Borino, that's hard to miss. And then I would just get in a conversation with them. Because at the end, whether they're going to come to an open house or not is secondary. What I really am interested in is having a conversation to see if they're considering selling. That's really my main objective. But the fact that you're out there and you're doing it is awesome. Do it. It works really well. Here's what happens. There is a property for sale in the neighborhood, and if you pay attention, you're going to notice this as a very frequent trend. That's why it's so important to get your listings sold, which I'll get to in just a moment. But let me back up. There's a property that goes up for sale in the neighborhood. There is always, and this never fails, another seller in the same neighborhood who's thinking about selling, who now very closely watches that listing, who wants to know, what are they asking? Is it nicer than theirs? Where are they going to be moving to? What are their homes going for in the neighborhood? Those are the sellers you want to connect with. Because sooner or later, one sign pops up, boom, next sign goes up. If are the same agent, same company, you know that agent did a good job marketing it. If it's a different company, somebody screwed up and lost money. Ba-dum-bum. So, going back to marketing your open house, start around Monday, pass some flyers out, get good traffic on Saturdays. Always ask people, how much are you asking for your house? What did your home sell for? Because they will quickly tell you, do they need to sell first, or are they just buyers? If they're just buyers, they don't need to sell anything. Unless they want to buy that house, you're going to refer them out. But what if they say, well, we don't know yet. We're thinking about selling. We live in the neighborhood. Ka-ching. Those are the people you want to talk to. But whether they come to an open house doesn't matter. If you meet them door knocking, or if you pass out the flyers and they fill out the form or call you as a result of that flyer, that's all you want. Now, going back, it is important for you to price your listings right and get them sold for that same reason. Because having a sign stuck in the front yard, first 2 months is a good advertisement. Then you slap a sold sign on it, even better advertising. But if the sucker doesn't sell for 6 months, now it's a hindrance. Now it's a liability. Now your reputation just went down the tank. It's in the toilet. Because you're going to look like an idiot who couldn't sell a house in 6 months. We all know it's the seller's fault. We all know who set the price. But the public doesn't know that. You and I know that. Get your listing sold, people. That's what you were hired in the first place. Don't fuck around. Seller doesn't pick the price. We've talked about it here before. Seller doesn't decide on the price. That's ludicrous. The buyer does. The bank does. You don't and they don't. Now you have to communicate it with respect. You have to communicate it with authority. You have to be cool about it. You don't just slap him in the face. What are you thinking, stupid? You can get $300,000 for it out of your mind. Not a best approach to get listings. Punch them in the face. You know? Don't do that. At least not too often. But get the sucker sold. Your mindset must be every listing I take, I sell. That was one of my biggest, strongest confidence statements, especially as a newer agent. Where I would come in and said, well, one of the things I do, I only list properties I know I can sell. If I hesitate or doubt that this property can be sold, you and I ain't working together. There's a lot of power behind it, but you have to back it up. That's why I would never take overpriced listings. Did I take some? Yes, I admit. I did. But I regretted it, and it's a disservice to the client. It's not my strategy. If I get hired, it's going to get sold. No question about it. But it also means I have to work with motivated sellers who want to sell in the first place. Because if they don't have a problem, if they're not motivated, then who cares? Doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Get the listing sold. That's what you're hired. That's what you're going to get paid for. That's your reputation. That's your business. Make it clear from the beginning with the seller. Be respectful, obviously. But make it clear. They don't decide on price. All they decide is this is what you're going to get for it. But here's the problem. Many agents are not competent enough to know what the property is going to sell for. Not you guys. You're rock stars. You got to know. You got to let the seller know. This way, when the offer comes in, they don't go like, well, wait a second, this is $50,000 less. What the fuck is going on? You got to prepare them from the beginning. This is what the market is. This is what the competition is. This is what the properties are selling for. This is what we're going to get for it, give or take a few thousand. And this is where we are. Go or no go. That's the only decision they have to make. Now you can have a discussion or obviously be flexible and intelligently explain. But at the end, they're not going to make an intelligent decision. That's the problem. That's where you get stuck. And no amount of better graphs and nicer pictures and bigger CMAs is going to fix that. Because at the end, they always make an emotional decision. Make sense? That's why the like, trust, and respect is so important, because that's our emotions. And if they are in place and if they have motivation, which is just another emotion, you got a motivated seller and you got a deal. And you can help them and you're going to get paid. ¿Está bien? All right. Deborah Duran says some really nice things. Borino, I wanted to let you know that because of you, I am making the calls every morning starting at 8 a.m. That's what I'm talking about, Deborah. Outstanding. This took me 11 months to get to this point. Now I look forward to making the calls and the challenge of it all. Mainly because I refuse to let my fear get in the way of my dreams. Kudos to you, Deborah. And if it takes 11 months, it takes 11 months. It took me longer than that. It took me a couple of years. So you're way ahead of me. You know? So if it takes 11 months, it's going to take 11 months. Are you going to quit? Fuck no. Are you going to go for it? Hell yes. Side note. I received yet another comment from a person that shall be unnamed about my language. And I'm not even going to address it. Fuck it. Let's just go talk about some important stuff that actually makes you money. My language is not important. You guys know why I use that language anyway. I don't need to explain. And if I need to explain, it's pointless anyway, so we'll skip that. Gail says, I am attracting 200 referrals in 2017. We have attracted at least one a day since the beginning of the year. That's what I'm talking about. There is so much business around you, people. Gail, thumbs up. That is brilliant. There's plenty of business around you. 9,500 homes will be sold today, give or take. 9,500 homes today. How many are you going to sell today? Not this month, this year. No. Today. There are people in your area right now, in your city right now, sitting at the table like this one going, who do we hire? How do we go about it? What do you think, honey? Why not you? What do you have to do to find these people? What do you have to do to connect with these people? What do you have to do today, right now? What is the most profitable prospecting or marketing or activity, most profitable, most important thing you can do right now? Right after we finish, we're going to wrap up in a few minutes, and what are you going to do? And then just keep asking this question over and over and over. What can I do right now? 9,500 today. How many of those will be yours? Can be a lot. Come to do the bootcamp. Do the bootcamp with me. And I'll teach you how to do that quickly. We're going to turn around very, very quickly. It is designed to get your results quickly. In 7 weeks, I expect you to take minimum 3 listings. Minimum! We have some spots. Come join us. All right. Jackie says, I'm good with language. Thank you. If they don't like it, switch the channel. That's how I feel. I mean, I will always offend some people with my accent, with the way I think, with the stuff I teach you. You know, this is not kumbaya, we're all going to feel good. It's tough. This is a tough business. And what I teach you is not based on how easy or hard it is, but how well it works and how much time and investment will it take. I can teach you stuff that's going to cost you a few $1,000s and the leads will come to you, and that's great if you have the money. But most of us don't. Or you don't have 6 months, 12 months to wait for the lead to convert. Think about it. Yeah? Janice has a really good question. Last week you touched on doing an open house for a FSBO, but it could be before you could finish. Do you write one a day, a week contract to do the open house for them? Oh, good question. If so, do you have a template for that contract download? Excellent question, Janice. First, I'm going to answer the second part. I do not have a template because every office, every area, every state, and of course country, has different laws and rules that govern doing open house FSBOs. So please check with your broker, check with your local board of realtors. Those are good resources, or if you have a legal department, check with the legal department how to go about it. So you protect your interest and the seller's interest. I'm not a lawyer. I cannot give you legal advice. Nor would I want to. Nor would you want advice, legal advice from me, trust me. But as far as marketing strategy, yes, you should have some type of written agreement between you and the seller. Simple stuff. What will happen if a buyer walks in? What will happen if it's a buyer that had previously seen the property? What will happen if a buyer with another agent walks in? So cover all these, all the possible scenarios. Don't overthink it. Don't make it too complicated. Basic. Now, with that being said, is doing an open house for a FSBO a good idea? Generally, yes. I think generally it's a great idea. But there are certain conditions. One, the house must show nice. It must be a good property for an open house, easy to find, shows well. That's one. Two, you must have enough trust and relationship between you and the seller. So they trust you with their property and all the belongings in there, and you trust them that they will follow through and actually honor whatever agreement you set up with them. And then three, they must be motivated. The seller must be motivated. You have these three things in place, absolutely great strategy. Because you can generate leads, you can impress the seller, you can do something where most agents will not do, and there's a small chance you can even sell the property. So I like it. I think at a certain stage, later stage, when you're working with the FSBO and you trust each other enough and you've been together long enough, it's a great strategy. It totally kills. I totally recommend it. Okay, excellent question. All right, Gail, those are awesome. She's posting some really cool check out the comments. Gail is posting some really cool feedback and some questions and some solicitation for business, why people reach out to her. That is fantastic. Love it. Ken says, if you change the language, you'll take the fun out of the presentation. Well, at this point, that is true. You would suddenly think that I lost my authenticity, you know? Like, I got something up my sleeve. It's not the real deal. So, Ken, you're right. Don't pay attention to the haters. They need to grow up, says Deborah. And that's part of it, absolutely. All right, so what do you guys think? Time well spent together? Let's see if we have any questions on YouTube. Hold on a second. I am clickety-click. Good time together? Did you enjoy it? We do this every week. Good. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me just check. I want to make sure I haven't missed anything on the tube. All right. Good. Looks like everything has been answered. Thanks for being here today. Lovely hour I got to spend with you. I appreciate all the comments and feedback. If you're not a member of our Rockstar group, here is the URL real quick. Ta-da! Come join us. Sign up. For those of you guys who are Rockstars, I appreciate very much the content, the questions, the information, the interaction, the inspiration. I enjoy it very much. If there is anything I can do, if you have questions for me, if I can help, post it on Rockstars. Shoot me an email. It's borino@expertplus.com. Reach out. You can call our office, 800-573-8492. If you want to check out the bootcamp, go borino.com. We'd love to have you. We have a couple of weeks before we start. We start February 1st. And we're going to do this again next Tuesday. We're going to chat again. Looking forward to it very much. Thanks again for being here today. Your coach Borino is always saluting his brave troops. You awesome real estate rock stars. I appreciate every single one of you and the effort and the work you do. You're doing well. Let's make 2017 together an awesome year. I'll talk to you soon. Let's go get him. Bye, everybody.